My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and Dorothy Namiyomba is with us on sign language. First though, the top stories. And into the news, President Museveni has hosted Charlene Ruto and her team at State Lodge in Nakasero. The meeting focused on strengthening regional cooperation and advancing value addition in the leather industry as a driver of Africa's economic transformation. Welcoming Mrs. Ruto, President Museveni expressed satisfaction with her interest in investing on the continent, emphasizing the value addition remains critical to creating jobs and retaining wealth within Africa. The Supreme Court has declared General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the duly and legally elected president of Uganda after allowing the former presidential candidate Moses Kasibante to withdraw his petition challenging Museveni's victory in the January 15, 2026 presidential elections. This followed an application filed last month in which Kasibante asked the court to permit withdrawal of the petition, citing financial constraints.
The Supreme Court justices led by Chief Justice Dr. Flavian Zaija unanimously granted the petition filed by Robert Kasibante seeking permission to withdraw the 2026 presidential election petition he had lodged against President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General. Accordingly, the Chief Justice, Dr. Flavian Zaija, declared NRM's General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as a duly elected President of the Republic of Uganda.
2026 and presidential election application number 1 of 2026 are hereby dismissed on account of withdrawal. Following the withdrawal of presidential election petition number 1 of 2026 and there being in existence no valid legal challenge of the results of the presidential election held on 15th of January 2026, we, by the unanimous decision of the court, made in accordance with Section 61, Subsection 4 of the Presidential Elections Act, Cap 179, hereby declare and confirm that the first respondent, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to Haurua, being reconded earlier declared by the second respondent, the Electoral Commission, as the winner of the presidential elections, is hereby duly elected President of Uganda.
In withdrawing the petition, Robert Kasibante cited financial challenges, noting that prosecuting the petition required him over $500 to conduct a comprehensive audit on biometric voter verification kit machines in order to obtain evidence. In a ruling read by Justice Muzamini Mutangula Chibedi, all the 9 justices agreed that the available evidence was insufficient to sustain the petition. The justices advised that future petitioners should carefully consider the consequences and costs of challenging presidential elections, which involve evidence collection from 5,000 polling stations within 45 days.
While making the decision to institute the petition or not, the decision to institute and prosecute a presidential election petition is a very, very serious matter and ought to be treated as such, because a presidential election petition is not an ordinary litigation. Gathering evidence from such a constituency, evaluating that evidence by the lawyers, and eventually presenting it to court within the prescribed 15 days.
On the issue of costs, the panel was divided. The majority ruled that each party should bear its own costs, explaining that while the law provides the petitioner to pay costs upon withdrawal of the petition, however, justices noted that this will not aid national healing after the contested election. However, in a separate judgment, Justice Christopher Madrama argued that the petition ordinarily bears the consequences, including costs, and Parliament provided for costs to discourage speculative petitions. Speaking to journalists after the ruling, NRM's lawyer Enoka Barata welcomed the decision, insisting that the 2026 general elections were free and fair. He, however, expressed disappointment that court towards the costs.
We are happy that court, even if it is a withdrawal, the Supreme Court agrees with us that essentially no evidence had been presented, and in fact emphasizes that the next time any petitioner ought to rethink their decision very carefully.
The petitioner Robert Kasibante, who was present in court, was pleased with the ruling.
To appreciate the court of Uganda, the Supreme Court of Uganda, for the good judgment. And also, they got to know that we are peasants because we don't have money. How can you pay the costs which the other respondent was asking? So I want to appreciate court for that, for the good ruling.
Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
Well, thank you both. Now, the Prime Minister, Robin Nabbanja, together with a number of ministers, have met officials from the Thailand Embassy in Nairobi to discuss strategies for addressing the trafficking of Ugandans. Nabbanja and her delegation held bilateral talks with Thai officials in Nairobi.
Nabbanja expressed concern that Ugandan youths have fallen victim to human trafficking after being promised greener pastures in Bangkok, Thailand, only to end up in other countries such as Myanmar. The Prime Minister and her delegation emphasized the need to address gaps in the issuance of visas to Ugandans traveling to Thailand.
Through Bangkok, they end up in Burma. Promised a lot of jobs.
Yes.
As I speak now, we have almost I think 200 youth, well educated, who go through Bangkok, and sometimes we don't get enough support.
We have to examine the age bracket of those young youth, men or female, who are going to Indonesia. If the applications, when they apply for these visas to go to Indonesia, if they could be held back and not given visas immediately, because it's so easy for them to get visas. That's why they ended up there. So we asked that all visas should be balanced with the Honorary Consul. Then the Honorary Consul should get in touch with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who will have it vetted by our national security people. Then it will advise you whether to give visas or not to give visas.
The government of Uganda also discussed ways in which the two countries could mutually benefit from enhanced cooperation.
Map with you so that we can get investors from Indonesia who can come and add value to our products, especially those who are taking our cocoa. Let them give us jobs through value addition and industrialization. Please.
Pierpon Putanapan, the acting Royal Thailand ambassador to Nairobi, assured Ugandans that measures are being taken to address the concerns raised and to ensure the safety of Ugandan nationals.
We know that what happened, we didn't desire this to happen at all. We very much want to work with Your Excellency to make sure that the Ugandans are safe, and when they are going to Thailand, they are not lured to criminal networks, because that's why I think recently in December we just organized a meeting. That's why we need the cooperation as well, because we cannot work alone, and I think exchange of information with you and with as Your Excellency said, that we should have a thorough check, and we should exchange information who are those networks to be able to work together and prevent any future travels, and make sure that if the youth are going to be in Thailand. They're going to have a good trainings, studies in Thailand, but not crossing Thailand, Thai borders to other countries.
In a related development, Uganda and Thailand discussed strengthening cooperation in agro-processing, value addition and agriculture mechanization. Meanwhile, the Indonesian ambassador designate to Uganda, Wijasono Aji, who is based in Nairobi, said Indonesia is ready to further strengthen cooperation with Uganda across various sectors.
Trade, Your Excellency, Your Honor, Honorable. Our data suggests that our trade has grown 47% over the 5 years, and now it stands at $150 million. There's certainly more we can do about that trade. Usually we are in the surplus side, but with Uganda, we are in the deficit side. So we buy more from you than we export to you. We buy a lot of cocoa in the past year.
The Finland representative in Kenya congratulated President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni upon his re-election and assured Uganda of continued cooperation.
Congratulations to the President for the re-election and also for having those elections. And I understand that the Parliament will start, the new Parliament will start in May. Is that the date for the President to also being sworn in? Oh, okay.
Ms. Daniela Matos, Deputy Head of Mission of Brazil and the region, expressed appreciation for the opportunity to engage face-to-face with the government of Uganda and welcomed the strengthening of friendship and partnerships between the two countries, including within the BRICS framework. Brazil also conveyed its readiness to deepen cooperation across priority sectors, including the possibility of allowing Uganda Airlines to operate direct flights to Brazil.
So we would like very much to be able to liaise with the Ministry of Education or some authority that handles higher education, and that we can make this opportunity known. Students have the opportunity to go study Portuguese and also, have the opportunity of studying in a Brazilian university.
Brazil further requested Uganda's support in its bid for the chairmanship of the International Sugar Organization in the 2027 elections. The Ugandan delegation also held bilateral talks with representatives from Australia, Romania and European Investment Bank, Grand Google, among others. The dialogue was organized and facilitated by the UNDP, Uganda and the Ugandan mission in Nairobi. Shaidat Nasaku.
Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Katah-Museveni, has urged universities and other tertiary institutions of higher learning to embrace programs that shape graduates into leaders and citizens of character, integrity, and capable of effective decision-making for the greater impact of the country.
Day 3 of the 76th Makerere graduation ceremony saw students of the College of Business and Management Science and Makerere University Business School graduate with various degrees, masters, and PhDs.
For what opportunities exist in your country and communities that you can take advantage of to find viable activities in which you can engage for prosperity.
Graduating with disciplines that are needed by society. We have equipped you with the knowledge and skills that will make you employable or create your own business and employ others.
Beyond academic excellence, Minister of Education and Sports Janet Katah-Museveni highlighted the significance of programs like the Emerging Leaders Program in shaping character in a morally deteriorating society for impacting integrity and effective decision-making.
You are stepping into a world that desperately needs your talents, your energy, and your commitment to excellence. But more than anything else, more than your degrees, the world needs your character more than your skills. It needs your integrity more than your ambition. It needs your service. And as we see more of you graduating, we see a new Uganda rising on the horizon to bring new hope to our families and to our workplaces.
Amidst technological changes, market shifts, and transforming customer needs, Dr. Patricia Ojangole urged graduates to challenge themselves daily with continuous learning.
You grew up with modern tools. You have unprecedented access to information and knowledge. You are far better equipped to face the world than we were. While there may have been more traditional jobs in the past, there were far fewer opportunities overall then than today, if only you can know where and how to find those opportunities.
Notable graduates, including King Caesar Augustus Mulenga, Chancellor of King Caesar University, noted the significance of such education milestones for the impact of lives and communities.
You know, 78% of Ugandans are the youth. Therefore, they need education. And if Makerere was alone, we could not achieve this. So President Museveni made a very significant contribution. Majority talk of peace, which is very important, to have peace in the nation. But another key aspect of life that the president and the NRM government has contributed to is to liberalize education so that those people who have money can invest in education and mentor these youth.
You realize that mostly the country is being run by economists, and for me, I want to become a policy analyst, formulating some of the policies, and also ensure that when it comes to the developmental aspects of this great nation, I become part and passion.
First, I'd like to dedicate this to all the women out there, that it is possible to go and add value to yourself in terms of education, and you go and impact the community directly.
Akampa Ronald, graduating with a master's degree in leadership and governance, continues to create impact as a model of essence of education for even the less advantaged people.
At first, it was not easy for me to start this master's. Most people are saying it is hard, research is complicated. So there was a lot of fear in me. But I said, let me start, then I will figure out on the way. So I advise people out there, if you are willing to do a master, come start, then you will figure out on the way.
Makerere schools of business continue to lead in innovation and enterprise development through transformative initiatives and high-quality research outputs. Cayenne Faith, reporting for ABC.
Now, air pollution and unsafe chemical practices are threatening public health across Kampala. So civil society organizations are calling for urgent government action.
A 6-month environmental pollution program has revealed alarming pollution levels in several high-risk communities.
Implementing in areas of Katwe and Kawa, and throughout our project implementation, we realize that these communities are being affected by heavy metal pollution from the activities they do, like metal smelting and fabrication, activities like the use of lead paint within the communities, and even some of the daily activities that happen in our houses, like water coming from the pipes. These pipes do contain a lead, and it's affecting the people's health.
The project, run by the Youth Advocacy and Development Network with Global Alliance on Health and Pollution and funded by the UK Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, found tire and copper wire burning, industry emissions and unsafe pesticide storage as major sources.
And you realize that in Kampala, the waste is mixed. The waste is mixed. We have what we call kavera commonly, what we call the bottles, the single-use bottles after we drink water, and those are plastics. Now plastics, when plastics are burnt, they release a very toxic air, they release a very toxic smoke, and that smoke is very, very dangerous to our health, especially if we continue inhaling it. And this is attributed to some of the effects, ailments that we have, like respiratory effects.
Over 3,000 residents were reached through awareness campaigns and school environmental clubs.
And some of our findings have been that there is low awareness in communities. So communities are not aware about the risks, the health risks and economic impact of pollution. Yet we have seen that pollution is driving most death in Uganda. We have realized that people in Kampala are burning waste.
Despite these efforts, enforcement gaps remain.
And I think the challenge is not just the generation of pollution, but the challenge is in the management of pollution. How do we manage this pollution? How do we treat this waste? Because if this pollution is generated in terms of solid waste and also in terms of liquid waste, and it's managed properly, it would not be a problem. But I think the problem that we are seeing in the city and in part of our industries is that we generate pollution, and that pollution is not managed properly. The solid waste is not disposed in a right way, and also the liquid waste is not treated to the level that meets the standards before it is discharged into the environment.
Civil society groups now urge stronger government collaboration, sustained funding and expanded awareness programs to prevent a growing urban health threat. For UBC News, I am Sudat Kai.
Now, the NRM flag bearers who were defeated in the recent Kampala elections have requested a meeting with President Yoweri Museveni to discuss the challenges and circumstances that led to their loss in the city, as we hear more in this report.
We are here to clear the air that the people gathering at Katabi, they are not real flag bearers. They are not NRM flag bearers. We guess they are independent. The one we won in the primaries, and they came to contest as independent in the general elections. So we are here to clarify that the people gathering in Katabi for over 2 weeks, they are not NRM flag bearers of Kampala. They are just there, independent mobilizers and other people for their own reasons.
We are requesting you as flag bearers of Kampala, these are few, but they are representing the rest. We are requesting to have an official call through our dear Secretary General, Richard Otodong, that we are called to sit with you. This is public, we cannot express everything. There were a lot of things that took place during the sessions of your elections and our elections. So with that, we request with the Secretary General, with the Secretariat, to help us from the time we finished elections. We need people to comfort us.
Now, the Ministry of Education and Sports is putting more emphasis on the implementation of the TVET Act 2025, aiming at improving skills development and producing graduates who can compete on the labor market.
We have skilled you, so we send you out to go and transform lives.
Government rolled out the new TVET Act in March 2025 to establish a framework for coordinating and regulating skills training. The Assistant Commissioner TVET, Dr. Eddie Turiatemba, says all graduate technicians shall register with TVET Council before practicing to eliminate unregistered technicians, commonly known as Kamufus.
We want to professionalize TVET, because we have seen that there are so many people are involved into these activities, but do not want to get the professionalism.
This was at a graduation function of Mengo Technical and Business Institute, where 288 technicians graduated with Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board certificates in electronics, motor vehicle mechanics, civil engineering, among others.
Is to remind you who have graduated that after you graduate, you are not allowed to practice before you register.
The Executive Director, UVTAB, Onesma Soyesije, says government is committed to promote skills development. He calls on graduates to utilize the creative and innovative skills acquired to exploit the environment for their personal community benefit and national development.
We are in the era of skills for work in order to accelerate more skilling opportunities for work, support sectors of the economy like manufacturing, oil and gas, ICT, road construction, service sectors like tourism, leisure and hospitality, among others.
The principal Mengo Technical and Business Institute, Nansana Birungi Joshua, expressed gratitude towards various educational stakeholders.
Successful in your future career. I'm sure and hopeful that you graduates here today will make us proud in your coming years. We don't have any bargaining, anything about, because we have already given you enough competent, enough energy skills to make sure that you can go in the field and practice what you have practiced here in Mengo Technical.
Over 40,000 technicians have gained vocational skills from the training center since its inception in 1988.
Coalition for Health Promotion and Social Development HIPS Uganda has officially launched the U-Lead program and graduated its inaugural cohort in a colorful ceremony held at its secretariat on Balintuma Road, Namirembe in Kampala.
The event, which brought together partners, mentors, youth leaders and key stakeholders, marked a significant milestone for the organization as it unveiled a new platform dedicated to strengthening youth leadership, employability, entrepreneurship and personal development.
It's a very good thing to have our learners, our young people go through a kind of training like they have done these past how many weeks. They've been equipped with skills on how to start income generating activities. They've been equipped with skills for financial literacy, and they are good to go to face the future. But just like I said, it's very important.
Dr. Rachel Kansime, an occupational therapist, clinical psychologist and psycho-oncologist, commended HEPS Uganda for the initiative.
It's very important that we also mind their mental well-being. We have so much that is going on around us in the country. There are many stressors. We are having many people with mental health challenges, you know, and so it is very important that even when we train these young people in how to make it, how to make money, how to be independent financially, how to lead others, it's very important for them to begin with leading themselves.
Christine Rosette Mutambi, the founder and technical advisor at HEPS, explained that the Youth Lead program was designed to equip young Ugandans with practical skills, mentorship and confidence to navigate today's competitive environment.
HEPS Uganda is a health and economic empowerment organization. And this program, we call it You Lead program. And it targets young people, but the bigger goal that we have is that we are trying to contribute to addressing the issue of employment, employability in Uganda.
The executive director of HEPS Uganda urged both parents and young people to embrace the initiative, describing it as a timely intervention aimed at tackling unemployment, skills gaps and limited access to mentorship opportunities.
The impact we
Now, the grassroots mobilizers of the National Resistance Movement in NRM from the Bukedi sub-region have identified insufficient funding, internal conflicts among party leaders, and low voter turnout as the primary challenges encountered during the 2026 general elections.
NRM grassroots mobilizers from Bukedi sub-region comprising of district administrators and flag bearers who participated in the 2026 general elections presented their report to party leaders in Kampala. They cited inadequate funding, internal wrangles among NRM leaders, and low voter turnout as the major challenges faced during the 2026 general elections.
So there is a problem with mindset. I do not see how heavy really voting is. That someone will even give you 100,000 to help you in campaigns. Then on the day of voting, that person is not there. And the day of celebrating comes and gives you more 300.
The second issue, I think I can categorize that under the first one, that was the RDC office working together with the minister, the campaigning flag bearers. The other challenge was as the foot soldiers on the ground, the team district mobilizers, we were not facilitated to supervise.
The NRM National Treasurer, Ambassador Barbara Oundonekesa, commended the mobilizers for delivering President Museveni to State House. However, she urged them to now focus on promoting economic growth among the people.
That's what makes the election not a process. It was simply an activity, which has since ended. We have finished the political mobilization. We have very well guided our people on how to align ourselves politically. The next 4 years, there is no election that spans for 4 years, but service delivery spans for over years. Now the actual work is about to start. We have finished political mobilization. We must commence on economic mobilization, and that we shall need all of you. What does that mean? That our work is just about to start.
She also called for unity and cautioned against land fragmentation, saying it could undermine Bukedi's socio-economic stability.
So if you come from Bukedi, where the average land holding is 1.5 to 2 acres, you need to think outside the box. First, the small land we are left with, we must tell our people, we must discourage them from either land fragmentation or selling that land.
Over to Busuju County, the Buganda chief of Busuju County Mityana district, Kasuju Israel Lubega Maso, has praised the government for introducing the new curriculum, calling it timely and essential for preparing Uganda's young generation for the future.
The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Education and Sports, introduced the new curriculum 2 years ago. The curriculum promotes vocational and hands-on skills to better prepare the young generation for the future. The Buganda chief of Busuju County in Mityana district, Kasuju Israel Lubega Maso, has commended government for the initiative. He urged education stakeholders to fully implement the curriculum for a more productive Uganda. During his familiarization tour of schools in the area, the county chief also inspected ongoing school projects. He encouraged institutions to utilize available land and recommend school gardens to reduce operational costs and equip learners with practical agricultural skills.
At St. Vincent Model Secondary School, we have really seen what it means to have a new competence-based curriculum, whereby whatever is taught in the class is being practiced by learners or students.
Kasuju further appealed to educationists to promote local languages alongside English to strengthen cultural identity and improve literacy. He commended St. Vincent Model College Manyi for supporting both government and the Buganda Kingdom in reducing illiteracy levels.
Learners learn English, but implementation is in their local language. You study something in the foreign language that is English, but you have to implement it or you interpret it using your local language. Therefore, learners must be emphasize to understand everything they study in English so that they can translate into Uganda for better applicability of whatever the matters they learn in class.
The proprietor of St. Vincent Model College, Manyi, veteran politician Vincent Nyanzi, pledged continued support for the government education programs, particularly vocational training, science subjects, and the implementation of the new curriculum.
I encourage all schools, in fact, to make sure that they put in a lot of effort in this new curriculum, and also encourage parents, most probably those of Kampala, attempt to bring your children to these rural schools where they can learn whatever they need.
The Busuju County Chief visited St. Kaloli Rwanga, BCG Primary School, Bujubi SS, Banda.
At 36 minutes past 10 o'clock, we're going to take a short break, but do not go away. We return with our next segment. Stay with us.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. Huh? For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later. Huh?
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Welcome back from that short break. Now into our next segment. Persons with visual impairments are calling on government to increase funding and provide subsidized braille materials and assistive devices to strengthen inclusive education. The appeal was made by Dennis Tumwebaze, director of the Uganda National Association of the Blind, during a press conference in Charlie Wajala. Well, we do apologize, but we will be bringing the details of that story in our subsequent bulletins. As we move ahead, Kampala City remains prone to flash floods. The government, through the Ministry of Water and Environment, is now turning to digital innovations to strengthen flood monitoring and management.
Available data shows that 68 of Kampala's 99 parishes are at risk of flooding. Authorities attribute the persistent floods to poor wastage management and continued encroachment on wetlands.
The drains in the town are either blocked or small to take up with all the water, so you find it is eventually ponding in the town and the city. And we have seen, of course, in the videos and other photos where you see cars stuck, people are stuck as if they are swimming in the water, and that's because the side drains cannot take the water.
The Ministry of Water and Environment, in partnership with the International Water Management Institute, is leveraging technology to improve long-term planning and flood-resilient infrastructure development in Kampala.
Solution we are bringing in are digital tools. We are trying to say, even when I'm not around, is there something I can do by taking advantage of the data that is collected by satellites? So we are adding in the digital solution. Right now we are talking about artificial intelligence. How can I use the data that is collected even at night when I'm sleeping, that is collected in areas where I don't have even a monitoring station, so that it can help me to take decisions?
Frontline officers are undergoing a retooling workshop on program for urban flood monitoring aimed at enhancing digital innovation in flood management.
We're having people from academic institutions, we're having NGOs, we're having from other institutions, National Transport Corporation, Kampala Capital City Authority, Uganda National Meteorological Authority. So we are bringing all the stakeholders together. And of course, we also want to make sure that as we move this agenda forward, then we interface with the people. So this...
I'd like them to be part of the solution. All right, so we will work together with them what is needed and who will be the target beneficiary, for example, and then also what type of data is also available, what that type of data can be made available from satellite remote sensing. Basically, the stakeholders are part of the solution because they are the end users later on. So we are starting with them. We'll continue with them throughout the process.
The Digital Innovations for Water Secure Africa DIWASA program seeks to advance water security through data-driven solutions and smarter planning tools.
Wakiso leaders have been urged to put aside political differences and work together to improve road development across all municipalities in the district. Speaking at a road committee meeting in Kira municipality, Wakiso, woman member of parliament Betty Ethel Naruyima called for unity among parties, a close supervision of roadworks and proper use of funds.
As Wakiso leaders, we have a duty to ensure that all funds are accounted for. Engineers, I want to remind you, the money for the 1 billion, you heard the way Parliament struggled with the guidelines. Now all the guidelines are there, ensure that funds are well accounted for, not only the 1 billion money or the maintenance fund, but also the GKMA project funds. That means that we are going to have monitoring before I forget. As the District Roads Committee, we shall go and look at those roads you've constructed so far or the ongoing projects. Our unity is key in this district. There is no way we can continue having development of this district minus all of us getting united and use all that has been given to us and demand what is due for us and ensure that we are Wakiso as a whole, minus our politics. No matter what color we put on, development doesn't look at our colors. Let's please work together for the betterment of this country.
I want to caution you members under the jurisdiction of Greater Kampala projects. These cuts are close. These are projects which are attached to very big budgets, very big sums of money. They look international, but locally manipulated. That so many big stakeholders in the government have a very big stake in them.
The elected councillors, together with the Municipal Development Forum, have done great work to sweet talk the taxpayers or the landlords to give us leeway or right of way to enable us constructing these roads.
now in business, InterSwitch has evaluated a comprehensive digital suite to facilitate fast customer transactions across all banking networks in the country. The digital solution intends to eliminate cash transactions and its associated risks.
To hand over the ISO 9001.
The Ugandan National Bureau of Standards is urging local companies and organizations to strive for International Organization for Standardization ISO certification as a pathway to improving quality, competitiveness and credibility in both local and international markets.
We're trying to encourage members to follow these standards because this kind of process allows you to check yourself, to ask yourself the questions that you need to ask. It allows you to see what is going on within your entity and gives you an opportunity to do what you need to do to make sure you're using the best opportunity possible to give the service that you're offering and to make sure that it's consistent.
This call was made during an event where Jubilee Dental, a leading dental care provider in Uganda, was officially awarded the ISO 9001 2015 certification.
So it is my honor and privilege.
Initially, the drive toward certification was motivated by the ambition to access opportunities in the lucrative oil and gas sector, where international certification is often a mandatory requirement.
And that was the bait. It was the bait that brought us into, we inquired, we called UNBS and inquired what is required, and they connect us to the consultant. So we began this journey, which we thought would just take a few months. But the more we went into it, the more we realized the value of it for our organization, to a point where we didn't really mind whether we got the certification or not. We realized the benefit of it in terms of establishing systems.
The ISO 9001 2015 Quality Management Certification reflects adherence to globally recognized quality principles, including standardized clinical procedures, robust infection prevention and control systems, structured risk management frameworks, and continuous improvement mechanisms.
Many do not know the process. They usually go straight to the certification body, but on our end, most of the consultants who get confused, we help them, guide them on the actual processes.
Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Well, thank you very much there, Dennis Igoa. And of course, that was the story about Jubilee Dental and how it has become the first dental clinic in Uganda to attain the international organization standardization, and that's the ISO certification. Now back to the digital cash flow. The InterSwitch has evaluated a comprehensive digital suite to facilitate fast customer transactions across the banking networks in the country. Let's hear more in this report.
The Digital Suite initiative is projected to enhance efficient security in the chain of transaction distribution and the payment ecosystem.
With our infrastructure, we built a switch that integrates all these banks. So instead of the transaction being routed internationally, when you visit such an ATM, that bank now routes the transaction through our switch and we process it locally at a very, very low cost.
The primary objective is to expand the reach of banking services to communities and standardize transaction charges in hard-to-reach areas.
Within just the period of 2 months, we've seen the number of agents facilitating agency banking transactions actually grow by over 50% before December, and the number of bank customers that have visited our channel, that number has grown by 35% over the period. And of course that has had a ripple effect on the transaction activity in both volumes and values. They're about 20 and 30% respectively for both volumes and values.
During the reward ceremony, to identify the best InterSwitch service providers, the country general manager for InterSwitch, Maurice Seguya, stressed the need to improve a broad network of money transfer outlets to over 20,000.
To be honest, it has kept my shop running. I run an electronic and electrical things. Sometimes when there are no customers coming in, but Quick Teller has held me there because customers for mobile money keeps trickling in, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. So instead of dozing around or saying I will not open, it gives you that motivation to keep going.
It's the transaction. The thing is, many clients have been going to the bank, but now because of the quick teller coming along, they come, they get the services very fast, and they go. That most especially school fees payments.
Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
And into the world of sports, corporate games, whose objective is to inspire corporates through sports, has donated mama kits to health facilities in Oyam, Gulu and Iganga to support vulnerable and expectant mothers at Katikati. The donation handed over to the representatives from those facilities is part of the initiative unveiled during the launch of the 4th Corporate Games 2026 alongside the corporate run, both aimed at mobilizing resources to improve maternal health and encourage safe childbirth practices.
Health remains a top priority for communities, especially for expectant mothers who lack the support and resources needed for safe childbirth. Such mothers require urgent attention and essential medical provisions to protect both their lives and those of their babies. In response, Corporate Games, which brings together employees and employers through sports, launched a charity race aimed at supporting vulnerable mothers. In 2025, more than 200 million Uganda shillings was raised through the corporate run, and the proceeds enabled the purchase of 1,000 mama kits, which have been handed over to health practitioners and expectant mothers from Oyam, Gulu and Iganga districts.
We are handing over 1,000 mama kits worth 20 million Uganda shillings to 2 health centers who benefited from the last year's corporate run 2025, but also launching the corporate run 2026, which runs under the theme Running for Expectant Mothers.
The initiative is significantly aimed at improving access to essential childbirth supplies for vulnerable mothers in the beneficiary districts.
Oba tofunye mama kiteno ojja tuka mu ddwaliro era nga tolina kaveera kakwebakako oba tokayina era kale waliwo ebigenda kunoneka ng'engoyi zo tebasobola kukwatako era nga tebambadde gloves abasawo.
After delivery, they are using that cotton because after using it, they throw. So cross infection is not there. They are minimal, let me say, because before they were using those clothes, and those clothes could have infections.
At the same event, the launch of the Corporate Games 2026 dubbed Season of Vibes was also held alongside the corporate run.
And I'm here to reiterate our support to you and the corporate games. We will see how we can even make it better.
Employees and employers from various agencies are expected to take part in the 16 different sports disciplines, including tug of war, football, swimming, darts, and several others. Meanwhile, Wilfred Senyange, the spokesperson of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, together with the representatives from other institutions, confirmed their participation in the upcoming events.
Most of the partners here, most of the participants are our clients. So in one way or the other, we are going to be giving them publicity in that way so that they are able to be recognized. We also appreciate the fact that sports is one of our core mandates as UBC, and we cannot leave it just to go just like that. So it was upon us to see that we partner with corporate games to promote sports within the entity, within the country, but also health-wise.
Corporate games and the rest underscore the role of sports in promoting social responsibility, while addressing critical health challenges affecting mothers across the country.
Participation was centered on Ozone for Life. We wanted to create awareness on ozone layer protection.
I'm Waevan Joko for UBC.
Thank you very much there, Ivan. Now, in our last story, Uganda Wushu and Zorokane Federation has outlined its intentions to qualify athletes for the Youth Olympics that are due in Dakar, Senegal, starting on the 31st October till 13th November 2026.
Two athletes, Haitham Lubega and Nahia Naiga, and their coach Robert Chizito have spoken out. This after returning from the IOC Olympic Solidarity and International Wushu Federation Africa Youth Training Camp in Egypt.
We learned many things. In Egypt, we had a training camp and our coach helped us as we performed well, and we ensure that we will perform and we will compete as well as we did in Egypt, and we promise people that we will bring medals in our country when we go to Senegal.
Uganda Wushu and Zurukana Federation President Eddie Gombia believes that the two athletes have ably used the Egypt camp and will do better at the next engagement either in Italy or China to boost qualification chances.
So we are more than ready. As far as of now, we have not yet qualified, but at least we are having 50% to qualify. The next whatever champion and a camp will be in Italy or in China. So we will choose one of those one. Maybe in China, maybe in Italy, to say that at least we qualify for Youth Olympics in Dakar, Senegal.
The Youth Olympic Games in Dakar, Senegal later this year will be the 4th edition, but the only ever to be hosted in Africa.
That's all we had time for. Thank you once again for sticking it with us right from 8 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Namiyomba Dorothy has been with us in sign language. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.